All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the capsule. We are back for another week, and we have another new first timer in the place. Right, I always say Jevan or Jevan? Jevan.
It's Jevan.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to check that.
But almost 90% of people call me Jevan.
Do they? And it annoys you?
No, I'm used to it.
Oh, okay.
I'm used to it. As long as I can recognize the name, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you're like, Jevan. You're like, no, don't think that's me. Yeah.
But Jevan is good.
You're like,
if you want to call me Jevan, that's also good.
Okay, Jevan is what we're going for. Because you know what I realized doing the pod is also like, how often do I have to actually say someone's name?
Yeah.
Like officially, and then when it gets to it, I'm like, wait, have I been saying the wrong name? Yeah, like have I been, or like when it comes to like saying their second name, I'm like, do I even know you? But like, wait.
You don't know me, Luke.
Yeah, well, we've known each other.
How long?
I mean, since like DFAM days, right?
Yeah, bro.
That's like I started in 2007, so
yeah,
probably around then.
Maybe 2009, 2010.
Yeah, probably.
That's 14 years ago.
Holy shit, we're old people.
We're old, man. We're getting there. We're not old yet. How old are you?
I'm going to be 35 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you look young, man.
That's what we like to hear. How about you?
30.
Oh,
okay. I was 30 a few months ago.
Oh, so you would have been... No, because I must have been 18, 19 when I was like first in the choreo. Yeah, because I started dancing when I was 17. End of 17, 18. So yeah.
I was fairly young at that point. But yeah, it's been a while, man.
Were you there when we did set for set and it was DFAM versus Toy Box?
I didn't see that one.
No.
I don't think I was a part of DFAM at that point.
Okay, you might have been after, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year that was.
What? Toy Box?
Yeah. Did you know that was my group?
No. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because that was I just spoke about this on Ola's podcast because Big Chris had the exact same reaction. I said Toy Box and he was like, wait, but like...
Even the word just pops up in my head.
You're like, what a flashback. Yeah. Because that was like how I know like Tally, Carrie Ann, all of that generation of choreo heads I knew because I started...
All of the links are starting to take place.
With Toy Box. And
was that the only group you were in?
I was in Ruthless. Were you around for Ruthless? It was Sim, Daniel, Gene, Max, all those guys.
Don't remember any of them.
You know Sim Campbell.
Sim, yeah.
That was his first group. Right. Was Ruthless. And
so you were doing choreo back then?
Yeah. Bro.
Wow.
Mad, isn't it?
I love it.
That was like my main, it's so funny. I was literally just talking about this with in Ola's podcast, but like they were the first ones that like made me do freestyle. Like I was, cause like it was mainly doing choreo, but they were like pushing me to do freestyle. And then I was training with like some guys in my area as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was, up until maybe, I don't know when, but like the whole beginning was all choreo. Like Tally remembers those days.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because like I don't see you doing choreo now.
Bro.
So it's like how much that's shifted.
So it's like my whole identity is not there anymore. I still have probably better pickup than the average battle dancer. Yeah. But it depends which ones, because a lot of the battle dancers
depends on who we're talking about.
Came from choreo.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? So it's like there's people like Sheldon, people like that who but like the average, it used to be that like battlers didn't do choreo at all, and now it's like there's a lot of a mix, I guess. I mean, that's what we were going to talk about anyway.
We'll chat about it at some point.
Yeah. I mean, you can move this.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Don't be scared to grab the mic. Yeah, we get we can definitely chat more about that.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, let me see if there's any like announcement stuff. Oh yeah, let's do some announcements. So the OQS stuff is, have you heard about this with the break-in?
Haven't heard.
So for you and those at home,
the
break-in GB are in Shanghai at the moment.
Right.
And I think apologies if I'm missing anyone, but I think it's Sunny, Karam, Stephanie, although she's representing Ukraine, I think, but she's still one of ours. And then Justice, Rob, and Sheku. I think that's it, but if there's anyone else, I'm sorry that I've missed you. They're in Shanghai because basically the Olympics qualification, and I'm probably going to not get this perfectly, but I'll do my best to fill you guys in. Yeah. The Olympic qualification run for breaking has been a bit complicated. There's been all these like European games and world games and blah, blah, blah. But I think at this point, what most people need to know is that there's two more events. And what those two events are is that everybody that hasn't qualified for the Olympics at the moment all of them go into one pool. So it's like all the people that have won or gained enough points already to qualify for the Olympics are already in there.
Right.
Everybody else is kind of like fighting for the last, I think, 7 spots.
Scrambling
For the like fighting for their lives for the last 7 spots. And the way they're doing that is there's 2 big competitions. One's in Shanghai this week, and the next one I want to say is in Budapest. I don't know exact dates, but I'll find them. But between those 2, they make a ranking. So obviously you'll have your winners, second place, third place, but based on the points across the 2, they'll make a ranking. The top 7, I believe, from these 2 events only go to the Olympics. So it's heavy deal.
Worldwide?
Yes, as far as I know.
Okay,
it's a big worldwide thing.
Yeah.
So there's some things where like there'll be extra few spots. So for example, like I think the host country gets a spot, or there's all these other little bits that could fill, but the main like qualification spots, these last 2 events are the big deal. So this is kind of where we're rooting for like Karam, Sunny, Steph, all those guys to get into the Olympics, because I think Karam did really well in certain places. They all did. Steph did really well, but I think they didn't obviously qualify yet for the Olympics. So now's their kind of last run.
When is the Olympics?
Oh, that's a very good question. August 9th. So the break, obviously the Olympics
soon, right?
start, in the beginning of August, but the breaking Olympics is 9th and 10th of August. So the women's is 9th and the men's is on the 10th. So Friday and Saturday evening or afternoon, evening. So
the pressure's on. This is like the last chance.
Yep.
And it's not getting brought back the following.
Well, no. So far, no. Because like we explained this, but I see people keep talking about this, and not people that have listened to the capsule, I guess, but for those that don't know, with the LA thing, I don't know if you've spoken about this with anyone before, but with the LA thing, it wasn't that they decided not to bring back breaking. It's that there's the core games for the Olympics that every country that puts on the Olympics has to do.
Okay.
And on top of that, they get to propose 5, I think, of their own sports that they want to include in their Olympics because it's theirs, right? They have to propose that to the Olympic Committee, and then the Olympic Committee will either say yes or no based on if there's the infrastructure there and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So Paris proposed breaking, and because they proposed breaking, it helped to like build, because to propose breaking, they had to, I guess, go off the tester that they did at the Youth Olympic Games in Argentina, collect the info from that, like whatever. And they approved it, which is dope. But then all LA did, which is the next Olympics, is not propose breaking, right? And you could say like, oh, like I think a lot of people have framed it as like, oh, they wanted to get rid of breaking in the Olympics.
They just didn't want to put it forward.
They just didn't want to put it forward. And
as
to be
one
honest,
of the 5.
Exactly. And when I read more into like what the 5 are that they proposed, like they have ones that like represent different like parts of American culture in LA. So like they have lacrosse, I think, and everyone was like, why lacrosse, blah blah blah, but it's actually a Native American sport that they've invented, and stuff like that. So they're like, there's
reasons for it. It's not like we don't like breaking, we don't like dance.
Exactly. It's just literally like we have kind of our priorities, and if you think on a bigger scale outside of sport, like they have to represent the country and blah blah blah. So it's a shame that they didn't also propose breaking, but while breaking isn't a core sport, it is like that, where it's like the country has to like off their own back decide.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, like if it goes off at Paris and it's huge and it's
going to be hard to miss,
then that will hopefully help.
Which I think it's going to have energy anyway.
Exactly. And I think even outside of the Olympics themselves, like other sporting competitions might take it up, or we can use that model for other things. And obviously we've already seen the attention it's got from the brands and stuff. So it's good. It's good.
It's a stepping stone regardless.
Yeah. I think people love the story or the drama of, oh, LA decided not to have the Olympics, have breaking. And it's like, it's not really how it went down.
No, but I would love to see some more UK heads in this Olympics.
100%. Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Rooting for you guys.
I mean, I think they've all got a good chance. Steph's done pretty well recently. I think they've all got a good chance. And I think the other thing that makes it even more of a good chance is because they've all already been doing well. But now with these 2 competitions, all the people that were near the top have already qualified. So they've been taken out. So like Danny Dan, India, I think Phil Wizard, Victor. I think people like this are already qualified.
Okay.
So it's even more chance for them to do well.
Yeah, it opens up the gap.
Exactly. So, I mean, fingers crossed I'm going to be tuning in.
Yeah.
But now there's the final... Because I think with all the different OQS events and the WDSF events and stuff, sorry, not OQS, the WDSF events, people were a bit like, oh, this is confusing. Which ones do I need to tune into? Which ones? Because there'd be a big competition and then it would be like, well, this doesn't really matter for anything. And it's like, well, how do I keep up?
Yeah,
These two events are the important ones. Like...
especially on the build up to the main event, you want to know what you need to pay attention to, right?
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
And because you can't, unless you're really invested. Even for me, I'm really invested and I'm trying to, talk about it on this and I still can't keep up with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for everyone at home, Shanghai and then the next one, these are the two big ones. And then the next one after that is the Olympics in August. So that's obviously the big one. And luckily we're in the right time zone that it's going to be an evening thing. So yeah. Everyone can tune in. It's
gonna go off. It's crazy to even think about it.
It's gonna be sick.
Like the amount of years I've been watching Olympics, and then to see dance represented. Like if I was a kid watching this, like it would blow my mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be super dope. So yeah, that is what's going on with the breakers. I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
We can plug for this weekend.
Yeah, the Nike sessions. Yes. Are next weekend. So we have our final two events. We would love to pack them out. We've got some really exciting things. I don't know if I can announce just yet for this session and for next session, but
all they need to know is that it's exciting.
It's going to be exciting. Yeah. We've got some really cool people coming down. It's like I said, it's our last two, and they won't be continuing right now because we need to go and do like a reassessment of everything and how it's gone. But all I will say is that obviously it comes, like we know the vibes in the room, we know the scene and how it is and stuff, but it will come down to numbers and demographic and stuff like that. So basically what I'm saying is if we want more stuff like this, please come down, pack out the last two sessions so we can really put forward a strong case for why there's a demand for these things.
It's been good numbers so far though, right?
Pretty good, yeah. I'm always like, I want more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. And maybe we can talk more behind the scenes on the membership episode. Yeah. Jev's kindly said
Please
he's going to...
give me another wink. That was great.
He said he's going to stick around for the members. So those of you that have signed up for the membership tiers, we'll be chatting more of our juicy uncensored, juicy stuff after this. But so please join us. Check the join button on the profile. And yeah, I can kind of tell you a bit more of the behind the scenes on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all that to say, next Friday, which is...
Who's the DJs?
The DJs for this month are Mr. S, Steph, who we know tears the fucking place down.
That's going to go off.
And Tilly, who DJ'd with Steph for the Afro and House category, Afro and Dancehall category at the On The Floor battle. Yeah. And she did a sick job. So Steph and Tilly are going to be playing together again.
Was the aim to get the same DJs that played together at the jam as well?
Yeah, because we had Josh and Glade who played together, Steph and Tilly, and then Lewis and Steph were the three pairs. Okay. We actually wanted them to be in a row, but Steph is like hard to lock down because he's the most popular DJ. Yeah. So we had to move him to this one. But yeah, we wanted to at least have them three back because they did such a good job and kind of a little... And also it's like hearing them DJ, like I feel like the battle scenario puts restrictors on how it's like a club night is like let loose, play your shit, not just stick to your category and play.
I mean, it's always a bit tricky, like when it comes to like the Nike Jam, for example, you kind of want to create a club atmosphere and that depends on the music that you're playing, but at the same time, dancers like to be able to dance to the track.
Exactly. It's like you don't want like some EDM shit or something.
No.
It's a hard balance.
Exactly. Going to a club and going to a party where there's dancers and there's not dancers, it's going to be a completely different scenario.
100%.
So, yeah, I think the great thing about the DJs that you've got so far is that they do cater for both and they can tell when the vibe's in the room and when to play for dancers.
That's what I'm really happy about, that we've had a nice mix of cyphers and party energy, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So this one is May 24th And the next one will be the end of June, June 28th. And that will be our final session. We're going to go all out for the last one. So if we could have lines around the block and people queuing, it will be a sunny day. That would be, you know, that would be amazing.
And it's free?
It's free.
It's free.
Freaking free, guys.
What the hell?
And it's open to everyone who's not even just dancers. So bring your friends, bring your partners, bring your mums, bring your kids if they're old enough. They have to be above 16. But yeah, so that's our Nike thing, last 2 sessions. And that weekend also, it has been brought to my attention. We have the Nike Jam on the Friday night. We have the UPG Battle for the Bag, £1,000 cash prize on the Saturday.
On Saturday?
All-Stars Battle.
On Saturday?
Yeah, on the Saturday after the Nike thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's like...
What date is this?
Not this week, next weekend.
Okay.
So Friday is that.
£1,000.
I think they've just moved the venue to Peckham Levels, actually. Funny
I saw.
And then the Sunday is Bird Gang's Battle, which I can tell you what they have if I can stall long enough to pull up the
Props
thing.
to UPG, though. I think that's a good move.
Agreed.
And also, it just makes sense. It makes sense.
It does.
You know, like, battle for the bag, go and get the money, do the thing.
And I think what's cool is, like, every organizer who puts on an event puts what they want in the scene, like into the scene, if you know what I mean. Right. So it's like the capsule events is something that I wanted, or my, I guess, generation or demographic wanted. Yeah. Whereas them, they're like, we want a high pressure battle for $1,000. It's like, good, like do that.
And also I feel like, well, I don't want to speak for the whole country, but it's missing that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I think I've always said this, like we need variety. Yeah. We need low pressure events that are fun. We need high pressure events with big money. We need jams. We need training sessions. Like the more of a scope of stuff we have across styles as well, then the better.
And I mean, what's been beautiful about Kingdoms League as well, for example, is that I've been seeing a lot more international dancers coming over to compete and participate. Yeah. And by that happening, you know, you end up jamming and like connecting more.
We love that.
And I just think it's like opening up the doorways for more dancers to come here and connect rather than the other way around.
Yeah, because we've always been the ones going out. And
yeah.
It's nice to have something that draws people
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the Sunday, this is all still next week, Sunday 26, Bird Gang have 1v1 hip hop, 3v3 all styles, and then an under 16 cypher.
I didn't even know that's happening.
So that's going to be sick. So if you're a hip hop dancer, you've got basically
loads of stuff.
Yeah, like three events basically. If you're an all-stars dancer, there's all 3 events.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now working backwards, this weekend you have something.
This weekend, Saturday the 18th.
Yep. So this will probably be tomorrow. This will come out Friday, so then it'll be tomorrow now.
So tomorrow there is In the House Collab Arts Arcade first house dance jam in Arts Arcade. If you haven't heard of Arts Arcade, it's an amazing space.
It is.
The windows look out onto Piccadilly Circus. You couldn't get more central. It's crazy.
It's like across the road from where Trocadero used to be. So
it's mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the first house dance jam. As far as I know, there's not any others in London. So I think it's going to be amazing to just have a space to connect and listen to good music.
Hell yeah.
And practice the style. So yeah, please come down.
What time is it?
Between 5 and 8.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So 5 and 8. Is it a DJ thing or a playlist thing? Or
yeah. So me and Ramel are going to be back to back
sick
DJing on this occasion, but there's going to be a live DJ every month. So yeah, monthly. I think we just need more of this.
100%.
We just need more of this.
Definitely. And a Saturday evening is like perfect for that.
Yeah.
Because also you still got time to go and do something afterwards, have dinner, hang out.
Right.
5 to 8 is like perfect.
Right. If you're not a house dancer, also come down.
Yeah.
You know, like just please help us grow the scene, even though the scene has been growing anyway.
Yeah.
But just a space to practice freestyle.
Hell
to
yeah.
Connect.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That sounds sick.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if there's anything else this weekend. Is there anything else that you know of this weekend?
I don't think so.
No, not that I can see. Apologies if there is.
Apart from the rain.
The rain. Oh, the rain.
Sorry, the rain. You know,
no, because Rain Crew have a jam coming up,
and
I thought
not Rain
that's
Crew,
not till next month.
Not Rain Crew.
So yeah, this weekend there's that one. Then next weekend, you've got those 3 events. The weekend after is MSB, which I'm going to talk about more at some point in this episode. I'll put a segment in. What's up, everyone? We're going to take a quick break so I can tell you about MSB, which is happening on Saturday, the 1st of June, and is brought to you by Your Next Move. This event will be held in Gloucester as part of the Kingdoms League and will host pop-in, hip-hop, and break-in 1v1 battles. They'll have DJ Fame back again and Yes Kev DJing, as well as Spin, Malga, and MJ judging. They'll also have ourselves, the Capsule, who'll be doing a live stream yet again with our added e-hosting, as well as 3 workshops on the morning of the battle. Luckily, we have a discount code for you if you book now. All you have to do is when you go to book tickets, type in MSB24 and you'll get discount on not only the battle day, but also the workshops. This code will run from now until Sunday at midnight. So go now and get your tickets and we'll see you at MSB. But now let's get back to the episode. But yeah, check out MSB as
also
well.
the jam is £3 entry.
Guys, come on.
Forgot to say that.
Give him a £5.
Oh, come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Donate an extra couple of quid. No, that's sick. And shout out to Alex Mechanical for putting together a lot of the Arts Arcade stuff. Definitely go and check out his Mechanical's Instagram for kind of the updates, because they have other sessions during the days and stuff as well. Yeah. The space looks really nice. I've been there a couple of times.
There's going to be other sessions, but there's also potentially like other events that In The House have got lined up in the mix as well, connected to Arts Arcade. So yeah, just keep your eyes open.
Sick. Boom.
Gang.
How has been your house dance journey? Who was I speaking to? Yeah. How hath the journey of the house? I was speaking to someone about you. I can't remember, but yeah, because I feel like we spoke about you ages ago on the pod, I think, when you did summer dance. I can't remember.
SDF.
Yeah, but yeah, how is it? Because I don't know, what was your journey? Because I feel like obviously like we'll unfortunately have to speed through it a little bit, but because I know you from Choreo Land and you did really good in Choreo Land, and like that's kind of where, like, I don't know if, I think there's people that only know you as a house dancer now maybe, but like you're really fucking good as a choreographer and as a dancer, and you've done a lot with that. Yeah. Brooke's piece we can also talk about.
True that.
But yeah, and then you kind of went into house. Was the first thing through the In The House mentorship, or had you been doing house already before that? No. Okay, so tell me.
So before 2020, I had probably done a little bit of house and like choreography here and there, but never trained it. I also wasn't a massive fan of the music.
Right, fair.
And yeah, like just as 2020 hit, before COVID hit, I saw the In The House mentorship pop up. And I was like, interesting. I feel like I could give that a go. And my intuition just said go. Went to the audition, got in, and then COVID hit. So it was literally like the timing of it all really made sense for me.
Yeah.
And obviously having Clara as a mentor, we just connected really nicely, and yeah, full steam ahead from there basically. Yeah. But it's crazy to think like my interest in house music and house culture grew from there so rapidly. Yeah, so rapidly. Like the dance opened up the door for everything else.
Yeah, that's really nice actually.
Yeah. And also like I feel it resonated in a way that allowed me to express my movement in its most authentic way possible. Like where I studied contemporary when I was younger, the music, the culture just opened up the doors to what I thought was possible. Yeah. Basically.
Sick.
Yeah.
And did you, like, obviously coming from the choreo background, it's like, yes, you're starting from scratch in a way with a style, but you already have a very high level understanding of your body, of breaking down music, of like even steps. Like I think this is something that we don't talk about, especially with house, but with any style, you're learning steps, and then the point is like pick this step up with all its intricacies and then mix it with other steps that fit with the rhythm and flow. But if you're a choreo dancer, you're used to picking up complex movement all the time. So whereas you might have the added layers, if you're a freestyler who hasn't done other styles, you might be like, right, I have to learn to hit, right? That's hard enough on its own. Then I have to learn to wave with hits. Then I have to learn to move my feet. Then I have to learn all this. Then I have to think about the music and the performance element. You're like ticked off like 7 of those boxes. And now you're like, okay, all it is just a different type of movement and I have to freestyle it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you find it like you already had some shortcuts from choreo?
I feel like well, I feel like choreography helped my authenticity in terms of how I approach freestyle.
How so?
Just because I think ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
in a way of, if I walk into a freestyle space and I don't know what that space holds, I can pretty much do what feels good and get away with it, so to speak.
Sure.
But then comes like learning the foundations and learning how to put that into practice. And I think this is where the mismatch between choreo and freestyle lands. Whereas if I'm learning a choreography, for example, usually that's an experience of the choreographer and what they've learned in the past.
Sure.
It might have some locking, popping, house, hip hop.
Any influences they decide.
In this one routine.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to learn the foundations for that is a whole different scenario.
Yeah.
So going into the freestyle world, where I made it a point to learn all the foundations of a particular style, then gave me the tools to unlock that. Whereas
back in the choreo world, you mean?
In the freestyle world.
Okay.
In the choreo world, knowing the foundations were little to none. It's like I know how to move for myself, but putting it into my own practice is a whole different scenario. So yeah, I think there's been perks and disadvantages.
Fair.
Yeah, but leading on to SDF, for example, walking into that space and not really having done many battles before, just like, okay, what have we got? What are we doing here? Let's just play.
Yeah.
And that ignorance allowed me to
do well,
or like at least come up with something that maybe others might not have seen, because I don't have the premeditated, I'm about to do a battle and I'm freaked out by it.
Yeah, and you're not restricted by the confines of like what should or shouldn't be done, or you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people, they start a style and they're still caught up with, am I doing it right? And therefore you end up just executing very basic stuff because you're so in a quest to prove that you're doing the thing right that you forget to play and do something. And then when you get better, you don't say fuck the foundations, but you kind of go, like I know my stuff, so now I can relax and play. And that tends to be when people get good, because they've got something to show, as opposed to proving, I can do popping, trust me. And it's like, okay, but that's boring to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
In an actual battle sense. So maybe your ignorance kind of shortcutted that, where you were like, I'm just going to play already. Like I'm confident enough to play already without trying to prove anything. And actually worked in your favor maybe.
And also I guess like doing any dance, freestyle or choreo, it's about choices, right?
Yeah.
So one choice after another, how do you get from one idea to the next?
Yes, literally.
And being able to unlock the freedom is what every dancer wants.
Yep.
Is to connect the dots.
Yep.
Which I think is so disclaimer, I think choreo dancers should do more freestyle.
Sure.
I think freestyle dancers should do more choreo.
Yep.
And I think the two worlds don't really overlap as much as I maybe would want them to, but maybe that's coming from a selfish point of view.
I think we could do more on like our events and stuff to bring them together, and because I think we could do some. We had so many like community showcases back in the day and stuff like that, but it's like, and we have so many battles now. It's like we could have more choreo performances at battles and more battles as part of choreo perform. I don't know,
or even just like a practice, just part of a practice of learning a foundation of a style and understanding how to connect the dots within that.
I think the miscommunication in a way I find is like when battlers see class, they look at class and they go, right, when we do class, it's to learn steps to play with and make our own creations out of. So when you're teaching me choreo, that's like your creation, and it starts and ends in that class.
Agreed.
We just have to, at the end, all we're going to do is execute the steps in the way that you said, and I don't really have anything that I'm going to add into my freestyle from this. They almost get a thing of like, what's the point of like, why are we here? And they miss what you can learn from that format, I think. And then with choreo dancers, I feel like they also have this thing of battles where it's like, okay, you go and do the prelims, so you're telling me 90% of the people don't even get through prelims, and then the other people, even if you do get through, 90% of them don't even make it to the finals, and then only one person wins, and then that person only gets 100 quid. I'm used to doing one audition, and then if I book the job, it's like a 10 grand buyout. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's for both of them, there's like a misunderstanding of what you can gain from the other, if that makes sense.
And it's just going to open up doors in terms of what's possible. You know, like if I've only been doing freestyle, and I get brought into a job and then need to learn a quick 5/8s, I want to know that I can still execute that with the same level of musicality, you know, performance and everything involved within that. It's going to open up like job opportunities, like networking opportunities.
There are so many freestyle dancers that I talk to that are like, oh yeah, I want to start working, I want to start doing dance jobs or whatever. And it's like, can you do choreo? And they're like, well, no, I'm okay. And it's like, it's not just about can you pick up structured steps. It's like, can you pick up structured steps quick as fuck? And then when you perform it, can you be looking up? Can you smile? Can you look good? You know, whatever. Even to the extent of like, can you look good on camera? Like if I take a picture of you while you're doing this choreo, is your face going to be all screwed up because you're used to just being judged purely on your technique? This is for entertainment purposes. So this is to sell a product or to be in a movie or whatever. It's like there's a whole different ball game, and you being like, oh yeah, I won a house dance competition. It's like that's not enough to put you on stage for this thing, I think. And there's like a whole, and that is also what I tell people, is like that's part of the benefit of doing choreo. Aside from what you can learn from the actual things, there's battlers who use choreo technique. So like if you look at like I would put Frankie near the top of that list in the sense that not only is he good at house, he executes in a performance-based way. So he's got his underneath iceberg, which is full of foundation and technique and traveling and experience and creativity, but he doesn't deliver it like that's all there is to it. He puts a shine on the top of it. Do you know what I mean? He makes it look good. He makes it fit to the music. He makes it easy to understand. The structure is there. He looks good when he dances, like not just in a superficial way, but like he makes the shit look good. So it's like, that's all stuff that and obviously Frankie's like fucking has training out of his ears. Like, but
this is what makes it undeniable.
Exactly.
Is when I watch Frankie and his choices, you know, and obviously like his training in house, but then his other layer of performance and personality and how to attract the energy in the crowd. Like there's so many different variables that I think
100%, which we don't learn as battlers. We just get told foundations go. But then the people that are bringing in other stuff like choreo techniques or even like probably whatever you employed at summer dance wasn't, oh, I've learned this through the battle world. This is like, oh, I understand big stages. I understand crowds. I understand presenting movement for an audience. Cool. I may be new to this house dance specific thing or even freestyle, but I'm not new to performing on big stages. And that's like, there's people that they're
so true.
You miss, I think a lot of people miss why certain people are unfuckwithable. Because like, even if you look at people
there's a reason.
Like you, Frankie, Sheldon, Breaks, Marvel, Brooke, all of these people are so good because yes, they understand their style, but they've also performed on big stages their entire life. So when Nick and Marvel go to, when Marvel and Breaks go to do a popping competition, or Brooke goes to do
mad.
Planet
It looked
Popping.
crazy.
But it's like
the choreo that they slapped.
Exactly.
Was mad.
Like them executing choreo in front of a big crowd under pressure is nothing to them. It's like, I've done this since I was 16. So like you're like, okay, all we need to do to beat Breaks and Marvel is to be really good poppers. Not really. You need to be really good poppers and have nothing that can phase you, have an understanding of battles, have an understanding of clean movement and presenting that. Like, again, it's like why people like Frankie and Brooke are very fucking hard to beat, because they'll beat you in the judges' eyes and they'll beat you in the crowd's eyes. And the people that are in the back row of the crowd will prefer them, you know? And I can say that because I've been on the receiving end of that, that beating. But
because they're presenting and performing it in a way that they believe is going to transcend.
Exactly. And I think this is what kind of you were saying as well about like why the scenes should cross over. Because I'm sure also, I mean, maybe you can speak more about this, but I'm really passionate about what the choreo scene, what we as battlers can get from the choreo scene.
Agreed.
But I think there's probably a lot that choreo dancers can get from the
Massively,
freestyle scene, right?
Massively. I think, well, one of the things that people forget is that all the choreographers that you love to see, all the dances that you love to see were all made through freestyle. Like, dance is freestyle. Dance is about, you know, like the moment, what you're inspired by the moment, whether you've seen something that you've been inspired by and, you know, transmuting that into the present experience, right?
Yeah.
And I think all choreography is a snapshot of those freestyles.
Beautifully said. It's like bottling that essence.
Right. Which I think is what we're going to get onto soon when we talk about Shay. But yeah, I think dance is the same. All dance is the same. We've just found a way to micromanage the scene so that we stay where we feel comfortable. And I'm talking about choreography and freestyle, but I think that this goes with everything.
Every niche.
Like, if I'm a freestyle dancer who loves to do hip hop, why not learn some locking? Or like go to a contemporary class. Like the skills that you're going to learn from a contemporary class, weight transference, how to use the floor, like jumps, turns, like there's so many things that you're going to take
1000%.
from that experience and soak in that you can then put into your own practice. And
movement is movement at the end of the day. There's no movement that you're going to learn that's going to have no relevance to what you do. Like, you could be a popping dancer. Taking a physical theatre or acting class would still help your popping. You might not know exactly how, but just enhancing yourself as a mover in general will help. Like, I think like so much of you know, my experience of dance was learning different. I feel like I've taken, I think the only thing I haven't taken a workshop in is like Vogue or ballroom stuff. I've taken multiple workshops in every other style. I might not do it. Like, do I ever do whacking or no? Or like, do I ever do house in battles?
But you're trying it to try it.
Yeah. And also it's like, I would say a lot of my footwork and understanding of weight transfer comes from learning house. I just do it in hip hop and popping. I did the house, and as soon as I'm in the middle of the class, I'm like, I'm not going to use this. I'm never going to, or not that I'm never going to enter a house battle, but like, I'm not using this step in the way that you're teaching me it.
No.
But I'm taking it and going, what am I learning?
What's
from
my
this?
body doing in this moment?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you like great example. I did Doc Locke's light feet class in Swindon. And
nice.
I had other stuff to do because I was actually working there, but I did the first 3/4 of the class. And there was just a little thing where I can't explain it without doing it, but he basically put his right foot on the floor. Yeah.
Why did you do it? There's no space.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it, I promise. No, but he put his he slid his right foot on the toe, and then he jumped his weight to that side, right? Without showing you, it doesn't really make any sense. But in my head, I was like, oh, I would never have known that I never do that. Like, if my weight is on my left foot, I'll always jump to the left. Or I'll always transfer my weight to the left. And he put his weight on his left foot and then jumped to the right in this weird, almost like borderline misdirection, illusionary way. And I was like, like, I'm not going to use this step, but I'm going to use that idea of take my weight off and then jump that way onto the same foot. And I was like, that's fucking genius. And it's just little moments like that you can only get from... And this is how I would explain class, is like you're stepping into somebody else's body for an hour. And you're like, right, if I'm taking your class, I'm not, every time I pop, do hip hop, house, anything, it's how would Luke do that style. For an hour, I'm going, how would Jev move? What sounds would he choose? What vibe would he go for? What ways would he use his body? And by stepping into your body for an hour, when I come out, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking differently about movement now. And if you do that enough time, your brain... fucking expands, you know?
Yes, and if we're talking about class in particular, obviously it's great if you love how someone moves, and it depends on what your intention is from going to class.
Yes.
Some people just want to really enjoy dancing. You know, I'm going to take this person's class because it feels good and I feel comfortable doing it. But if you want to grow, go to different people's classes.
Even if you don't like it.
It's
just like another way of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. But I think choreo dancers would benefit from doing freestyle more. Not even just doing freestyle, going to watch battles. I remember going to see my first battle, which wasn't like crazy long ago, and being mind blown by the energy in the room, by like, I think I was just most shocked by, I think maybe because I did it as well. You can't run in a battle. You cannot run. When you're doing choreo, you can
hide
to a point, mask what you're really feeling because you're conveying what the choreography or the character is.
Sure.
A battle is so revealing because you're put on the spotlight's on you, and your truth is revealed in that moment. And
100%.
if I hadn't known that experience, there's so much I wouldn't be able to put into my choreography when it comes to my own vulnerabilities, you know, like what I really want to say in my dance.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I'm starting to connect the dots more because of having that experience, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one example. I just think choreography has been based off of freestyle, and we can start to like find the links a bit more and also support different parts of the scene.
Because it all benefits each other.
It all benefits each other.
Especially nowadays where everything is crossing over. It used to be there was no choreo heads in the battle scene and no battlers in the choreo scene. Now there's a big crossover. You know, you've got some of the people that are like really great choreographers that are sick battlers, and great battlers that are like, you know, starting to put pieces together and stuff. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. I just came back from Paris.
You were at the
Section Showtime.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it was so sick.
Yeah.
But I went to go and support Inda Fam, which is some of the Inda mentees.
Yeah.
Clara put them together and choreographed a quarterfinal routine, 3 quarterfinal routines.
Holy shit.
3 semi-final routines and 5 final routines.
So it's a battle, but it's only choreo.
Yes.
There's no like solo freestyle moments.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's the 20th anniversary of Section Showtime. They invited crews to participate, and the crews battle each other with choreography. Like, it's a concept that I feel like should be introduced more.
It's a bit jump offy.
It's a bit jump offy. This is what I was saying the whole weekend.
Right,
I said this is reminding me of jump off.
Right.
But I think it's specific in a way of it's only choreography, but the battle elements there, like you're having these crews battle each other through their choreography, like it's strange. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I think more of this could happen.
I think so.
Especially as from when we met, all I knew was dance crews. Like that's all I knew was dance groups.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the individual experience. It was about the collective experience. And what's nice about crews like UPG and others is that I think we're starting to find that again.
Yeah, and I think there's been attempts at like this, because obviously Set for Set was that idea. For people that don't know, I think Set for Set's still going.
It is, yeah.
But it's like you had 2 crews that they would like pair up, and then it would be like you both have to dance to the same. Is it the same artist? It wasn't this.
I can't remember.
Because so Set for Set, I think it was like either they had different themes, it was like the same artist or the same genre or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But or some, I think they just had free ones. It was like literally just like Toy Box versus DFAM and just whatever you want, like just who's better out of the 2. And they had judges, but then you also had like Avant-Garde's collabo, and they had a thing where what was it? It was more than 2, but it was like. You had a few groups that all had the exact same soundtrack.
Which is basically what Section Showtime was. But yeah. So it's the same soundtrack. All the teams get sent the same soundtrack, and then they make the choreo to that soundtrack, and then they battle each other. It's not random songs. But I can't remember what Set for Set was. Or is.
Yeah. So I think that was because they with Avant-Garde's collabo, they literally edit it. It was like a 5-minute thing with loads of different songs in it, all edited and cut together, and you had to choreo. So it's like that's really interesting to see how people approach each song. So I think we could definitely like mix these type of things up more and make it like a battle competition, but with some choreo, with some. That would be sick.
Yeah. But yeah, moral of the story is expand your dance.
For sure. What's up, everyone? We're going to take a quick break so I can tell you about the Capsules YouTube memberships. We've now introduced 2 membership tiers, which you can use to support and help us grow. First, the Capsule Contributor tier is £1.99 a month and will earn you a loyalty badge and contribute towards the sustainability of the Capsule's entire platform. Secondly, we have the Loyal Listeners tier, which is £4.99 a month. And here's where it gets good. There will be an extra private episode for every public episode we release, which will be only for the loyal listeners. You can request topics, hear our real and raw thoughts, and get behind the scenes and exclusive content in addition. Every single penny we receive from these memberships will go directly into the Capsule platform, helping us to grow and evolve in so many ways. All you have to do is click the join button in our profile or under this video for more details. We really appreciate everyone's support on the journey so far, and we're super excited to move into this new phase. But first, let's get back to this episode. Should we have a look at, speaking of choreo and expanding things?
Let's watch something.
Let's watch. So, I don't know how much you know. This is so funny. I usually just tell Tally like, okay, you say everything about the thing that we're going to watch. Let's talk about the Childish Gambino video first.
Let's do it.
So, if you're not a first-time listener to the Capsule, you may have heard of Jungle, because we have spoken about Jungle on approximately 67 episodes. Obviously...
67?
No, but a lot. Okay. We've spoken everything that vaguely relates to Jungle we bring up.
And Luke said this is the 180th episode.
Yeah, we did 180 episodes. We need
67 is almost half.
Yeah, it feels like at this point we've spoken about Jungle on half the episodes. But Shay, who choreographed famously the Back on 74 and the rest of that Volcano album, has obviously done more than just that. He's a very successful choreographer. He's a brother of Kenzo, right?
Kenzo.
Yeah. So both of them are sick choreographers and freestylers, actually. And yeah, so Shay's done, I think I saw he did like Tinashe's tour or something. He's done bits.
He's been stepping up,
killing
man.
it. And
so nice to see.
Childish Gambino released a new album, which is actually a finished version of his old album. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just one song.
No, he released a video for one song, but he's released the whole album, I believe. Wow. Or if he hasn't released it, it's coming. No, I think he did release it. And then with this was the first single that came out. But yeah, Shay choreographed this is what we're getting to. It's called Littlefoot Bigfoot, and I haven't seen it in full, so we can have a look at it now.
Let's do it.
And tell me what your thoughts are. And we can talk about why Shay's such an interesting choreographer afterwards. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I've watched the dance part.
Okay, fair.
This is like a movie, no?
Yeah, for real. Episode of
How long is
Atlanta. It's 6 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes.
Both of those dancers are sick as well.
Who are they? Do you know? Their
One
names
is
are
called
here.
Rob Bynes.
Okay.
From America.
You guys Johnny in the pipes?
At your service.
Would I know him from stuff? Like choreo dancer, I'm assuming.
He danced in the Beyonce tour.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big time.
And I recognize the other dancer, but I can't remember his name.
I'll tell you.
You get 5 minutes. You make it to 2, you get $5 flat. Do not make eye contact with the front row. They will take it as a challenge. We are not accountable or responsible for any damage to any instrument, including your body. Please sign it.
This is shot so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They haven't got the names of the dancers.
My uncle is a boy in the city. It's okay.
Ooh,
Take a
that's
look at this
slacking.
person. That's fine. That's
They
fine.
should drop that real quick.
Benny, get the mop, baby boy. Gonna be some blood and yeah.
Unless I'm... Oh, Monier Crump?
How y'all
Moniette's
doing
Crump?
today?
Is that...
Oh. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
We are Johnny in the pipes. And how many of y'all done lost your pappy?
It's good that he's such a good actor as well.
Well,
Yeah, it's just he's an artist.
Yeah.
and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go.
Littlefoot, Bigfoot, get out the way. I'ma show y'all how to move this, yeah. I'ma show y'all how to move like this. I'ma show y'all how to move, hey, woo. Littlefoot, Bigfoot, get out the way. I'ma show y'all how to move this, yeah.
Brilliant.
I'ma show y'all how to move like this. I'ma show y'all how to
It's like
Littlefoot, Bigfoot, get out
the era and the clothing and stuff is like very Cab Calloway, Nicholas Brothers, that type of vibe.
And I can already see Shay's influence in the choreography.
What is it that's giving you Shay?
Well, I think like he's starting to find his authentic movement style within like, you know, commercialized industries, but it's so clearly him.
Yeah.
Like it's just groovy, man.
And you know what I think makes a good collaborator, whether it's a choreographer or anything, is like this not only feels authentically Shay, it also feels authentically Donald Glover, which is that's your job as a choreographer, is to not just
absolutely
rip everything out to put yourself in. It's like to suit the artist properly. In the same way that Jungle felt very Jungle and this feels very him.
Yeah.
But somehow both of them feel Shay.
Yeah. Like they feel Shay, they feel Donald, and they also feel the time period that that
did a
trying to
perfect
portray.
job.
Yeah, I think that defines a good choreographer, to be honest. Especially when it comes to character work. Like.
Yeah. I feel like that's very Shay. I don't know why.
Oh, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. Raw. Mad.
So this is I saw some reviews or no, like breakdowns of this.
Right. Have you got an explanation?
Well, what they were saying was that it's what he's saying like with this is like if you look, the crowd weren't into it until he killed someone.
Yeah.
And it's like the idea of like, okay, especially if you take it with the backdrop of like the Drake and Kendrick and all that, it's like, oh, we're not enjoying this unless it's about killing people or beef and that type of stuff. Like at the beginning it was like fun and everyone's like, all right, cool. And then when he kills someone, it's like, oh, now we're in.
The human psychology is kind of dark. Who's this?
Young Nudie. I don't know.
He's young, but he's really big.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like modern day.
I guess. I mean, I feel like the thing with Donald Glover stuff is like there's always going to be a commentary on something.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he never just does things for no reason, so.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I see what you were saying about the time period as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very, I think that's everything. It's very time appropriate. Like the way that the moves are. So like he's nailed all three things. Like he's put his unique voice on it.
Yeah.
So that means anyone else that choreographed that, even if they did an amazing job, it wouldn't look exactly the same.
Exactly.
It feels like Donald Glover's type of movement. Like I can see the This Is America type of vibe in there. And it also fits the time period. So it does feel a bit, like I said, like Cab Calloway and Nicholas Brothers, that type of, I guess, what era would that be? Like 1920s?
20s,
something
30s.
like that? Yeah, 1920s, 30s America. So
Without it looking separated. Like it's all intertwined in the character and the movement and the performance. So it's like you're noticing the essence of all of those things. And that's what's drawing you in,
and it's cohesive. It doesn't feel like you said separate.
Right, which is the beautiful thing about what Shay's done.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Crazy.
Do you think, as a choreographer, do you think that there's something in what Shay's doing which is kind of also the Paris Goebel school of success, let's say, in the sense that it's like recognizable, like catchy movement? Like even the beginning of that jungle thing when they're doing like this and like in that all these type of movements is like, for me, when I watch choreography, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that looks the same. Like there's a lot of the same moves being used and like a lot of the same ways of hitting the beats, and it's just like the same I see a lot of the same with battles, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you see like Shay or Paris Goebel, even though they're not the same as each other, they're both like those moves, like that move where he was
They
like,
stick.
yeah, it's like, oh, that's a really unique move. And it makes me think about it. And like, there'll be moves from that people will do when they hear this song, if you know what I mean. And the same with
because
like,
it got put on, what's the game that it got put on?
Oh, I
the
don't know.
jungle movement.
like Fortnite or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Mad.
And because it's so recognizable, you know, you can see characters do it on a game, and it's like
And you know
clearly
what it
theirs.
is. Whereas like, I think there's a lot of choreo that if you took someone's face out and took the song off, I wouldn't
Like,
be able to tell you what that's from.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just moves.
Yeah.
I think, and this is just like me thinking, it's their bravery to step outside of the box when it comes to, you know, you're being confronted with the challenge of choreographing for an artist on this scale.
Yeah.
Are you choosing to step out of the box?
And are you choosing to play it safe?
Right. Are you choosing to play with what you have, or are you just going to hit a line and hope that it goes to the music?
100%.
Which I think you can still read the same things in battles. It's like, okay, how are you choosing to play with what you have?
Yeah.
But yeah, in this scenario, I feel like he's consciously being playful whilst maintaining his authenticity, so to speak. It's almost like, yeah, he's copyrighted the way that he moves,
Which is crazy.
which other dancers will try and jump on.
100%. I think let's, because I do want to talk about Wicked.
Yeah.
Let's watch the trailer for Wicked.
Yeah, sure.
And then what we'll do is we can come back to both of those topics for the members.
Nice. Cheese.
So let's also, I know very little about Wicked, musicals, any of it. So maybe you can kind of fill us in
Sure.
after. But so this is the trailer for Wicked,
Yeah.
the movie / the movie musical.
Yeah.
Right. Which the reason we're talking about this is because Jev worked on it. Tally, did Tally work on it?
I don't think so.
No. Comfort, who was here, was on it. Harry.
Comfort was here.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Long story with that, but we had a power cut halfway through, so the second half of the pod only.
Did you film it at night?
Just in the middle of it was just like a normal day like this. We spoke for 3 hours, an hour and a half through everything. The whole house shut down. I was like, this has never happened.
No,
So
chaos.
we got the second hour and a half out. But yeah, Comfort came over. She's due a trip back because we love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Harry was there's loads of dancers.
Comfort was the assistant
I think.
choreographer
Yeah.
on here.
And who's a choreographer? It was I feel like it was
Chris.
Chris.
Chris was the choreographer.
Hold on, let me
Throw up his last name.
So John M. Chu was the director.
Yeah.
Produced by Mark Platt, who did La La Land. Does it have choreographer on here? No, it doesn't. Chris. Is it Stokes?
No.
No. Chris. I don't know.
Yeah, but he
Anyway.
was the choreographer on it. Also, Leah Hill, who I used to dance with in Ricochet back in the day, was also the assistant choreographer.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Christopher Scott.
That is the one.
There we go.
Christopher Scott.
And Ariana Grande's in it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's check out the trailer and then we can talk about it.
Are people born wicked?
Are you a big musicals fan?
Or do they have wickedness thrust upon them?
I'm not a big musicals fan, but more recently I am.
Can you sing?
I can sing, just not for public.
Yeah.
I am.
Welcome, new students, to Shiz University. Miss Elphaba, you can room with Miss
This does look great though.
You know what? I'm not a musicals person at all. I, in fact, do not like musicals.
Disclaimer.
But when I saw La La Land, I was like, oh, that is sick.
Yeah, but this is particular. That's a particular kind of musical.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know what?
Take your seats.
I mean, this does look good.
A real sorcerer who possesses
Also,
true magic has
Cynthia,
become all too rare.
who is the lady with the green makeup,
Yeah.
she used to dance in Boy Blue.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Mad. And she became an actress.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure of her backstory, but she
Come with
used to
me.
be part of the dance community.
Of course. Not you.
I mean, people are going to go see this for Ariana anyway.
You're the one the wizard has been waiting for.
Glinda?
Ew. I know. It's my granny's. I'd give it away, but I don't hate anyone that much.
Hey.
You should join us tonight. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear. Because you could wear this.
I don't know the story of Wicked.
Yeah, it's not.
Is it what's it called?
She doesn't give a twig when anyone
What?
thinks.
Wizard of Oz.
Of course she does.
It's based off of the Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz. Yeah.
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Oh, there we go.
Someone to the Emerald City.
Come with me. What? To meet the wizard. I couldn't possibly. This is your moment. I'm coming.
Seems like it's definitely going to be epic.
Yeah.
The great and terrible.
And it's already got a massive follow. Like,
Yeah. Like people
the
already
Wizard
like
of Oz
it.
is already a story that people.
Something bad is happening in Oz.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
Oh.
You have no real power.
Oh, so it's like the Wicked Witch is actually a good person?
Don't let
Yeah.
her get away. This wicked witch.
Don't be afraid.
So why don't you like musicals?
You know what my main issue is? Is like, I'm just like, why are we singing about this? That, do you know, it's like when they're, you know, when they're just talking and it's like, so what do you want for lunch? And they're like, what do I want? Let me tell you. Like, I'm just like, just say it. Like, so that's kind of always, and it's just the cheese. It doesn't do it for me as
Doesn't
much.
sit right in your stomach.
Yeah, a little bit. But like I said, I watched La La Land and I was like, oh, that's fucking sick.
Well, I'll tell you when I first had a different view on musicals was when I worked as an assistant for Tally.
Yes.
When she was choreographing Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
Tell me.
Which was a musical that first started touring in the UK and then it managed to get a West End transfer.
Yeah.
Which is like big for musicals.
Yeah.
So I was the assistant on the touring one and then associate choreographer on the West End one.
Yeah.
And I think I managed to get a different view on, like, I respect the cast, any cast of any musical, just in terms of being able to juggle between roles and, like, you know, get the dance down, music down, and act to a good standard. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I think also is worth saying as a disclaimer, I went to musical theatre college for like a term and then I quit and it scarred me for life. I hated it.
Crazy.
So that's why.
So you have mild trauma.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Like I just hated it. And it was like also the principal was not nice to me. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it,
Definitely.
but I like also went in thinking it was like a dance college. Like I think in my head I think I was 19. I should have gone to like Laban or something.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went.
But you're not to know anymore. Like,
I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. So then I went, and it was like majority of classes was singing and acting, and even the dance stuff was like, da, 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 and I was like, where am I? Like, I just want to
now.
I just want to do ballet and contemporary. Like the ballet and contemporary classes that we had, I was like, oh, this is sick. It wasn't because it wasn't hip hop. It was like when I did contemporary, I was like, this is cool. Tap was cool. Ballet was cool. But like majority of it was like, okay, we're gonna learn a number from Chicago, and I'm like, oh my god,
Over it.
Yeah, just within the first like few months, I was like, and I'm done.
I think musicals can be like, I think musicals as a genre kind of has a specific rep of it being cheesy,
sure,
jazz hands, predictable.
Yeah,
like there's so many things that musicals I think people have an idea about. But now there's a lot more musicals coming out that are a little bit more raw. They've got interesting stories.
Yeah.
The music, like they're pulling from different genres. And so I worked as a choreographer on a musical more recently called Cable Street.
Okay.
And I just loved how all the elements weren't like, I don't know, it was about London and it felt like it wasn't something separate.
Why have I heard of Cable Street?
Because Cable Street is a street in East London.
But I mean,
studios.
why have I heard of the musical?
Oh, I don't know.
Was there anyone else that I know that was on it?
Nah. It was on at Southwark Playhouse.
I've heard of it. I can't remember why.
And
Someone
it's coming
spoke about
back
it. There we go.
in August. No, it's coming back in September.
Boom.
So
Maybe I'll
please
try and
come and
come
watch.
check it.
Yeah.
But also I think, I mean, anything at a lower level is not going to sell you. So if I've seen bad musicals,
right,
of course I'm not going to like music. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
exactly.
If you see a shit battle, it's not going to make you want to battle.
Right.
You have to see the good stuff to.
Same as like music genres.
Exactly.
Like, I used to hate rock music, and then until I was introduced to good rock music, and then I
you're like,
loved rock music.
no,
Do you know what I mean?
it. Yeah.
It's like anything.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so Wicked was like a lot of the dance scene.
There
booked
were
on it, right?
so many dancers.
Yeah.
Which I love to see. So many also from the underground scene as well, which was super nice.
Yeah.
And I think what was really amazing about this musical was that the choreographer, from my perspective, like held space for us to do what we needed to do in the space. It didn't feel like it wasn't authentically us, even though we were playing a character.
Sick. Oh, that's
which was super nice.
Yeah.
It was super nice. I don't know. So I was in 2 different scenes, but there was a lot of dancers in other scenes.
Okay.
So I know people had different experiences. And I think working on films is a particular kind of job experience in itself.
Yeah. A lot of sitting around.
A lot of sitting around, long days.
Yeah.
Like I would be waking up at 4, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Getting home at 11 p.m. to start again 4 a.m. Like,
crazy.
Some days you're like, what am I doing? But I had a really great experience on this.
Yeah. I think also going back to like with things that battlers can learn from choreo dances, it's like, sometimes, sometimes when you're doing a tech, you have to just stand there and you don't know what's going on, but you need to stand in your position and not like, you can talk, I guess, but like you're not supposed to be wandering around or off stage. I know battlers that just don't get that. It's like, okay, for tech, they're like, oh, I'm bored. I'm going over here. I'm just going to get my drink. And it's like, just stand still. Like I need you on stage. I need to set the lighting, like these sort of things. And that's for like an hour or a 2-hour tech. Imagine for like a whole film day where it's like, you're getting paid to just stand still until you're needed in costume, in the space, or like off the side or whatever. And it might be boring, but it's like they're paying for you to be there so that in that moment when they say, right, everyone get on and do that number again, you're ready to go and you're warm. And that's part of the...
There's so many variables with it. Like that kind of stuff is so draining. Like standing in a massive room,
warehouse thing.
Massive warehouse, but your energy has to be on point.
Yeah.
When they call for the dance to be done, you have to be ready. Where's my warm-up time though?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You
Like,
just
there's
have
so
to
many
be
variables. But yeah, I think the crew were pretty good on this one.
Sick.
The creative team were good.
Nice.
So it's set up. But I have heard other films can be diabolical.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with anything, isn't it? Like music videos, theatre productions.
Same with anything.
Really depends.
Have you done a film?
No, I haven't done a
Would you?
The only experience I ever had with being on a film set was fucking Street Dance 3D.
You watched Street Dance 3D?
Yeah, well, as an extra.
So was I.
Were you? Oh, we probably were.
What was your crew? Were you in?
I was with Ruthless. We weren't in any. Were we in any dancing scenes?
Were you in that opening scene where the main cast walked in?
Yeah.
And there were people ready to get ready to.
Yeah, we were in there.
I was in the same room as you, bro.
It's so funny. Like, I have a funny story about that. I don't know if I can.
Have you watched the movie?
Yeah, ages ago. This was like the first ever street dance movie.
Maybe we should watch that together.
God, that would be funny. It's it's old now, but that was a funny experience. Like being there, I didn't know what I was young and like I met a lot of people on that set actually because we were extras, but like everyone was sitting around for there was food and everyone was basically just hanging out.
Who was the main character?
Quayle. Well, Brooke was in the crew.
Brooke was one of the cast, right?
Yeah, one of the main cast.
And Quayle as well.
Quayle was the main dude.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't know if people know, but Jamal is Quayle's brother.
Right.
Jamal Roach, and he was in our crew. So when we were on set, Jamal was with us, and Quayle obviously had to walk through and stuff. So Jamal kept like saying things to make him laugh, which must have been so annoying.
Of course he was.
But like, because they're brothers, obviously, but that nobody in the movie knows that they're brothers. So he, like, as he'd walk past, he'd say something like a personal joke between them or something. I was cracking up.
Mad. What a time, man.
Yeah,
I was with Status then.
Who else was in Status? Would I have known?
Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan
shit.
Nembard. Yeah.
I know, of course I remember Status, yeah.
Of course you remember Status. We did Got to Dance as
wow.
well. Yeah. Throwback.
Because the guys that run Status was Ryan and who else?
Ryan, Mark, Oliver.
Who used to be in what other crew? Peridot, that's it. Yeah.
With
I always think of
Marvel.
Peridot as part of the
Yeah.
Status as part of the Peridot like family tree.
Yeah. This is like the real history, man.
Old school shit.
This is the real history.
Oh my god, that was funny. Yeah, that's my only experience with that. Again, a couple of like music video stuff as like extras, but nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Would you do a movie?
Would I do a movie? I think it would very much depend on like the hours and the workload. Because I think I was talking about this the other day and we can continue this on the members thing in a second for those that want the juice. But we were talking about specific like theatre show. I'll tell you more on the private membership thing. But like the like specific theatre shows and stuff where it's like, that looks sick, but now that I've done like film and photography work, the day rates are higher and for way less physical work. Like I have to do more in the sense of like I've got equipment to hire and to know what's going on with it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But in terms of like how much do I sweat on a day is like nothing, right? And I'm earning more per day. So I'm like,
true. You need to balance. You need to.
If I was like working my ass off, like rehearsals, doing this, also 6-7 shows a week, what I'm like, if that was video work and someone said you're on 8, you know, however long, and it's this physically hard, I'm like, I don't know that I would take it just on the fee alone. I'd be like, this is going to have to be really good money for me to want to, or because this is the other thing that's worth saying for me. I think, and this is the conversation I was having, is that you have to love performing to do stuff like this. You have to love.
You mean performing in musicals?
Movies, theatre shows, any of that type of stuff, right? Because for an extended run, like if you're, let's make it theatre. If you're asking me to do 6 shows a week and not have really any social life besides my mornings and go and bang out a show or 2 shows in a day, that's an hour at a time for less money than I'm getting to film or photograph. It's not just about the money. You have to love performing and being on stage. And the same with maybe musical stuff. You have to love being on set and having this as a part.
You have to love it to be able to do it.
Which I don't know that I do enough. Like that's why it would be a money thing for me. It's like, I don't know that, like if it was choreographing a show.
Right.
And then touring with the show and it was less money, I'd loved it because I love choreographing and I love, I could love sitting in the audience watching something that I've made.
Treat,
I would love, or like creating in the studio and like coming, I would take half my fees to do that, right? That's my shit. But like just delivering choreography, I'm not that passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I think I'd struggle.
Even though you know you can do it.
That's the other thing, is that it would take a lot of brain work. Like I think I'm better at choreographing than I am at actually dancing. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like not in, I could get back to it pretty easy. Like when I was doing Vice, I was like I was a bit better at delivering choreography than I am now. But obviously through battle stuff, it's like I'm not really on my shit in terms of choreo.
And I think this is one thing that, like, to give flowers to the dancers who are, you know, touring right now. Like I know all of the dancers doing Message in a Bottle.
Yeah.
The dancers who just did Cycles. Yeah. The dancers from Far From the Norm. Like
they're touring at the moment.
Like the level of intensity that they put their bodies through is beyond what we could ever really imagine.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And I think obviously like it's part of the adrenaline of performing, you know, like the gratitude of being part of a company and having a regular wage, which is also really great. But like we're only human. Our bodies can only do so much.
And you have to love that shit. I think if you're doing one of those productions and you don't 100% love dance or the show,
how are you going to do it?
You're going to end up unhappy. Yeah, it's impossible.
How?
Because it's like, to be honest, it's like when you see battlers, there's probably choreo dancers that feel this about battlers. It's like when you see them going full out, sweating, borderline injuring themselves for an entire day and you're like, but the prize money is only 100 quid. What are you doing? Like, and it's like, no, because I love this shit. I'm not here for the prize. I'm here for this. And I think vice versa. It's like if you're on like a movie or you're on a theatre show, it's like you're here because you love the art form and you love the work, not so much. Of course, you got to get paid.
Yeah, but it's those moments that you can't fake it. You know, it's like what we were saying about, you know, battling, getting put under the spotlight. You can't, if you're not into it, you can't fake it.
No, listen,
you'll just get cut. Like,
I think it's
you
the
won't
same
get through.
with anything at a high level.
Yeah, true.
If you're you can't fake it. If your heart isn't in it, you'll get left, especially in highly competitive dance, sport, anything like that, you will get like left behind quickly. And I can vouch for that.
And
I've been left behind.
And if it is, wow. And if it is something that you really want to do, like put in the hours for it. Like a lot of the time, it's the hours that are not seen that get you to those positions, and that you can then build up the level of trust within yourself that when you step into those spaces, I've been doing this in my own time, so this is nothing.
Exactly. And it's, I'm here because I want to be doing this, not because it's work and I'm like, I guess I'll come on set. You're like, yes, I get to come on set and
show you what I've been working on.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the membership moment and just finish off
Blessings.
chats.
Quick plug.
Yeah, go.
I've started a choreography class.
Oh, let's go. We should have plugged that earlier.
It's okay.
When is
I'm
it?
plugging
Where
now.
is it?
It's on at the Manor, which is a really nice space. It's really cool. On at the Manor on Tuesdays, 5:30 to 7.
Let's go.
So I'm teaching that choreography class, and I'm still teaching a house dance class at Base. On Thursdays, same time, 5:30.
So Tuesdays in the Manor.
Tuesdays at the Manor.
At the Manor.
Finsbury Park.
Thursdays
5:30.
at Base is house.
Yes.
Bang.
But the choreography is using influences from house dance choreography, but with any of my inspiration, basically.
Cool.
Yeah, so anybody's welcome, gang.
I'm just... all right. Wait, let's finish this. Guys who are on the public episode, love you lots. If you don't know, there's probably an advert at some point in this pod, but basically we have, for every episode that's out, we're going to do another membership tier. Sometimes it will be with the guest, sometimes it will be with just me, sometimes there'll be additional content. I'm going to start trying to get some tutorials together, some other bits, maybe some mixes from my good friends who are DJs, all sorts of shit like that. So yeah, check out the membership offerings and sign up if it looks good to you, because all of that is going directly to supporting the platform and helping us.
This guy is doing bits. He's doing bits.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. All right. So for those of you that are members, catch you over there for all the tea. Peace.
Bye.